Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I welcome everyone to Class 9 Mathematics, Chapter 6 Lines and Angles Introduction, Part 1. In this chapter, we are going to see Introduction, Basic Terms and Definitions, Intersecting Lines and Non-Intersecting Lines, Perpendicular Lines, Angles, Types of Angles, Parallel Lines, and Transversal. Students, first we will see basic terms and definitions. Already we know few definitions. Today we are going to recall that. What is line? A straight path extending in both directions with no endpoints. Line has no endpoints. Here, line segment. Line segment has two endpoints, that is starting point and ending point. A ray. Ray has only starting point but no end point. Points. Point is an exact point or location. Intersecting lines and non-intersecting lines. Intersecting lines, lines that cross each other. Non-intersecting lines, lines that never meet and never cross and are always the same distance apart. They are called parallel lines. Best example for parallel lines is railway track. Perpendicular lines, two lines that intersect to form four right angles, that is 90 degree. Angles. Angles is formed when two rays originate from the same endpoint. The rays making an angle are called the arms of the angle and the endpoint is called the vertex. There are many types of angles, that is acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, adjacent angles and linear pair of angles. In this we are going to see in detail. Acute angle, an angle whose measure is more than 0 degree but less than 90 degree is an acute angle. 0 to 90 degree we call as acute angle. You can see some examples of acute angles, ladder, pizza and then road. Right angle, an angle whose measure is equal to 90 degree, that is exactly 90 degree we call as right angle. You can see the examples of right angles, that is edges of scale, edges of photo frame and symbol. Obtuse angle, an angle whose measure is less than 180 degree but more than 90 degree is called an obtuse angle. 90 degree to 180 degree is an obtuse angle. You can see few examples of obtuse angle, that is fan, calculator and clock. Straight angles, an angle whose measure is equal to 180 degree is called a straight angle. Exactly 180 degree we call as straight angle. You can see some examples of straight angles, railway track, window and road. Reflex angle, an angle whose measure is more than 180 degree but less than 360 degree is called reflex angle. 180 degree to 360 degree we call it as reflex angle. You can see some examples of reflex angle. A man riding a bike, straw and house. These are the examples of reflex angle. Adjacent angles, angles which have one common arm and a common vertex and the uncommon arms are opposite to each other are called adjacent angles. You can see some examples of adjacent angles, leaves, book pages and then clock. Linear pair of angles. Angle formed by a line intersecting a straight line is called a linear pair. That is, A plus B equal to 180 degree. Examples of linear pair are sun rays and pen stand. Vertically opposite angles. Angles formed by two intersecting lines such that the opposite angles are equal are called vertically opposite angles. In this diagram, angle 1 and angle 3 are vertically opposite angles and angle 2 and angle 4 are vertically opposite angles. Examples of vertically opposite angles are fan and scissors. Parallel lines. Parallel lines are the lines that remain the same distance apart over their entire length. The two lines never meet. The two lines never cross each other. Best examples for parallel line is railway track. Transversal. A transversal is a line that intersects two or more parallel lines at different points. There are some pair of angles formed when a transversal intersects two lines such as corresponding angles, alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles and interior angles on the same side of transversal. Corresponding angles. In this diagram, we are going to see the corresponding angles. Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles and angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding angles. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles and angle 4 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. Alternate interior angles. Parallel lines and one transversal line is there. In this, we are going to find out the alternate interior angles. Angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles and angle 3 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. Alternate exterior angles. Parallel line and one transversal line is there. In this, we are going to find out the alternate exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles and angle 2 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. Interior angles on the same side of transversal. In this diagram, L1 and L2 are parallel lines and one transversal line is there. Yeah, alpha and beta are on the same side. So, L1 is parallel to L2. Then we can write alpha plus beta equal to 180 degree. I hope you understand this session. Thank you, students.